us to come. We're very, very near and dear to our hearts with veterans. We've been with Honor Flight for about 12 years. We're out of the Fort Wayne hub of Honor Flight. There are 128 hubs of Honor Flight in the United States, 4 in Indiana, Evansville, Indy, Lafayette, and Fort Wayne. Here in Ohio, Toledo is one, Kalamazoo is one, so in a big circle. However, having said that, we service Western Ohio, Southern Michigan, and Northern Indiana all the way over to Michigan City, Indiana. So we have a big service area. Now, I guess I can honestly say that I'm a little bit biased. I think that the Fort Wayne hub is an excellent hub. We're doing flight number 50 in April. Some of the hubs, I'll pick on San Antonio, where I was born, Fort Sam Houston, they've only done 15 honor flights. We're doing 50.
Wow.
So we're really supporting the veterans. We want to make sure that every veteran gets that pat on the back and thank you for their service, especially Vietnam that never got a thank you when they came home. So I'm going to show a brief video. And then as some slides are showing, I'm going to tell you about how the Honor Flight got started and some particulars about it that I hope that you will find enjoyable. Does anyone here remember Sing Along with Mitch? The show? Okay. This is sort of like Sing Along with Mitch, and you're welcome to sing along if you like. You might know some of these a little bit. Let's see. It's very brief. It puts you in the mood for what we're going to talk about. Isn't it nice to see the words? You don't normally see the words. get you in the mood. I'll turn on some slides here in a minute. But just briefly, the honor flight was started by Earl Morse in Dayton, Ohio. He was a physician assistant, and his VA patients that came to see him, he would ask them, have you been to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials built in your honor? They say, no, I'm going to do it sometime. They'd come back the next year for their checkup, and they still had not gone. So he was also a private pilot. So he arranged 5 or 6 of his buddies that had small planes, and they took a total of 6 veterans to Washington, D.C. and on 6 planes, because the planes only set two seats in there. The veterans enjoyed it. They came back and said, we need bigger planes. And so they arranged that. When we started in Fort Wayne, and for the ladies in the room, it was a lady in Fort Wayne, Laura Carrico, that started the Fort Wayne branch of Honor Flight. She wanted to honor her father. There was no local hub, so she stood out on Coliseum with a tin can for 8 hours and collected, I think, about $7 for Honor Flight, because no one had ever heard of Honor Flight. Now, many people have heard of Honor Flight, and that's our intent to keep spreading the word. And so we currently fly an Airbus 321. It holds 90 veterans, 90 guardians, and about 20 Honor Flight staff. Every veteran has to have a guardian. It can't be the spouse. Not that we're anti-spouse. We love our spouses. But when we were doing World War II veterans, we'd have a 98-year-old veteran and a 98-year-old spouse. Who's going to push the wheelchair? So we asked that the guardian be 1 generation younger, and they're in charge of the wheelchair. In fact, they're in charge of that veteran for the whole day. Make sure they get on the right bus, make sure they eat and drink water, and find the restrooms, and the whole 9 yards. And at the time, during that time, the veteran will tell the guardian things that they maybe never told anyone for 50, 60, 70 years. So it's a bonding day. It's a very special day for them. In April, we're doing our 50th flight out of Fort Wayne. Phil's One Stop is going to help. The gas stations are going to help sponsor that. Although we are blessed with sponsors from Steel Dynamics and Culver's Restaurants and mortgage companies and insurance companies, and all kinds of folks support it because it's patriotic, just the right thing to do. So, and it feels good doing it. So let me show you a little bit more, and I'll explain what else we do. When our Honor Flight plane is in the air, it has the 2nd highest clearance in the United States. There's only 1 plane higher. When we arrive in Washington, D.C., we have a water cannon salute our plane to salute the veterans on our plane. It's only for our plane to do this. On a sunny day, it makes a rainbow. That was. I can't show you all of these, but I'll show you some. That was the all Purple Heart flight that we took, or that we did, and we are the only hub in the United States to ever do an all Purple Heart flight. We had 102 Purple Heart combat wounded veterans. It had never been done in the United States. We did it, and it felt so good doing it. This next brief video. The changing of guard at Arlington is a real inspection. It's not fake or phony. I want you to see the real inspection. If he doesn't measure up, he cannot guard the soon. Those are our veterans in back, the red shirts. either stand the entire time or you're in an honor chair. If you're in an honor chair, some people call them wheelchairs, you get to be right up front. After they have their uniform on, they cannot sit down. It'll crease put a wrinkle in the crease. They have to be absolutely perfect. He passed inspection. Just a little trivia, after their shift is over with, they take all of the polish off their shoes and they start with just plain leather and work it back up to a shine. It takes 6 hours to strip the shoes down and bring them back to a perfect shine. Their uniform, they can't be more than a 16th of an inch off on their medals. They wear no rank marks on their uniforms because they don't know the highest rank of the veteran in the tomb of the unknown soldiers, and they don't want to outrank that person. So it's all ultimate respect. We also lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, and we have a lady in Portland, Indiana that makes those for us. And let's show you a few slides and explain those. This is at World War II, and our veterans are in the red shirts, and the Guardian is in the blue shirts. And the fountains in the center of the water. Sometimes people are stepping back to take a picture, and they fall in the water. It's not uncommon to see ducks in the water there when we're there. And John Q. Public are there as tourists, and they thank our veterans for their service. And that feels good. We eat one of our meals. Oh, the Northeast Indiana Honor Flight. We are the only hub in the United States of America that flies out of an active military base. We fly out of the 122nd, formerly home of the A-10 Warthogs. Now the F-16s are in there. We leave out of the base, we come back to Fort Wayne International so that the general public can come in to welcome them home, and about 3,500 people come in to the welcome home. And we feed them breakfast at the base. We have a program for them in the morning. They get their shirts and their hats and photos and a program. Then we head off to Washington, D.C. It's only a 1-hour flight. And then we offload onto 4 buses, red, white, blue, and yellow, and go all around the city. And we have park police escorts and to get people out of the way. The veterans are coming through, so we won't have to stay in traffic all day.
Do you land at Air Force Base or a?
No, we land at Reagan. We land in D.C. so that we can be right where we're going. We don't want to land at an outside area and then spend a couple hours on the bus getting in. This is the FDR. I'll just highlight a few of these. There's a father and son. The son's a guardian. The father is the veteran, and he's got a smile on his face. That means we're doing our job. This is the Vietnam Wall, and we have a program called Flags of Our Heroes, Flags of Our Fathers. And if if your family veteran has passed, as my father did and Mary's father did, they'll fly, you can arrange to have their funeral flag flown to DC and photographed at their memorial, and then when we return back to Fort Wayne, we'll present it to the family, as they presented to Mary and I. Speaking of memorials, your trivia question, you guys were asking trivia before. How many monuments are in Washington, D.C.? It's a trick question. You've heard of the Washington Monument? There's only one monument in Washington, D.C. All the rest are memorials. And there's an app on your phone or a book that you can look up on the wall to find out where your loved one is at. There are 58,000 veterans died in Vietnam. They're all on the wall. And we encourage everyone to touch the wall as part of the healing process. There's our veterans in red and their guardians in blue. There's a father and son. This is the Air Force, and the Air Force we have big spires, the statue, the memorial that signify the plane going out of the Lost Man formation, and that's a very a nice memorial. Sometimes they'll have the honor guard there for us. Let's see. Oh, there's my wonderful wife, Mary. And I always tease everyone. I told someone earlier that we've been with them 12 years. I've been on 10 flights. We have assignments on the ground, at homecoming. We never know what our assignment's going to be till just before the flight. But Miss Mary, she's been on 2 extra flights than me. She's been on 12 to DC. I've only been on 10 for 2 reasons. 1, she's good looking, and 2, she bakes cookies. I can't compete with that. So.
He could if he wanted to.
This is the Air Force Memorial. These are those spires that go up, and the Air Force Honor Guard there, they'll pose for pictures with the veterans. There's a guardian. There's a father and daughter. I took an Air Force friend of mine that had passed. I took his flag and had a photograph with the guards and presented it back to his wife when we came home. This is World War II at the fountain. There's a veteran and a guardian. Again, they're talking. A lot of times they'll say things that they've never told another human being. They just don't talk about the war. So it's very healing. That's FDR. We like to eat there because there's a lot of shade and a lot of places to sit. And FDR has one of the largest memorials because he served almost 4 terms. This is the Vietnam memorial, one of the memorials at the Vietnam one, and I don't have a picture of the nursing one, but there's 3 nurses, Faith, Hope, and Charity, that are taking care of wounded soldiers, and it makes me cry. Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. To become a sentinel, a guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, there's a very rigorous training program you go through, and out of the hundreds and hundreds that apply, only a couple of them make it. And because it's such a rigid effect on their body, the way that they walk and standing still, sometimes they'll only do this for like 9 months or 12 months, and then they don't do it anymore.
They actually live there too, don't they?
They live there. And this is the only position in the military where after you leave the military, you can have your privileges revoked if you have unbecoming behavior. So it's a lifelong, you represent something very special. Before, we don't leave the spouses out, so they don't get to go on the flight, but prior to the flight at Texas Roadhouse or Outback Steakhouse, we have a steak dinner, and the steakhouses donate the food and the employees for it. The employees all volunteer. They fight to be on that day, and we have the wife is the spouse and the daughter is the guardian. They seem like they're happy. It's going to be, this is the Thursday before the Wednesday flight. They get to know a lot of the people that will be on their flight, the 90 or so veterans that are going to be on the flight. Sometimes they see old friends that they haven't seen in umpteen years. I always point out Miss Mary. She's right there. There's old Cam over there. So I guess I was there too. And actually, this is Mary's cousin Raul. He was a Marine, radio man, Vietnam, Quezon, 1968. He lives in San Antonio. He comes up every year to visit his favorite cousin. And we had him sign up here for the honor flight because we're a more active hub than San Antonio. And he actually went in May of this last year, and he got to lay the wreath of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This is Kathy is our president. Sarah is with the USO, and Teresa is with American Airlines. Teresa is our connection to line up the flight. It's our plane for the day. We fly out and come back in the same plane. They change crews morning and night. But Teresa lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and when she can, she flies from Phoenix to Fort Wayne to be on the flight with her veterans. Her dad's Vietnam veteran. She's a sweetheart. Pat Miller from WoWo, always good at supporting honor flight. The pilots of the planes, they fight to get on this plane. They're usually ex-military pilots. They want to be on that honor flight. And I mentioned it has the second highest clearance in the United States on that flight. This is at the Women's Memorial, and that's a new memorial. It's one of the nicest in Washington, D.C. So if you're in D.C., you need to go to the Women's Memorial. It's on the Arlington property. They have the nicest gift shop. They have the nicest restrooms. And it's the Women's Memorial. They have more women's restrooms than men. The men wait in line. The ladies go right in.
Oh, we're loving it too.
And the nicest gift shop. This is Cricket from Fort Wayne, the veteran. This is laying of the wreath of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. On the plane, they'll turn the microphone over to the veteran that wants to tell a story, sing a song, say a poem, whatever. We sing songs. We sing "God Bless America" when we're in the air. We had an opera singer from California. He was the son. He was 60. His dad was 80 from Fort Wayne. He flew from California to Fort Wayne to be his dad's guardian. He sang opera to us at 35,000 feet, 600 miles an hour. We heard opera. It was beautiful. Back in Fort Wayne at the Welcome Home, again, 3,500 people come to welcome them and thank them for their service. This is Jerry Rathburn from Auburn, Rathburn Tool. He helped sponsor one of the flights. I judge science fair whether he's a good guy. This one, some people never get to meet their heroes. I married mine. This lady took over the band at the airport. Her mother was in her 90s, and her mother ran the band for all these years. She passed away. The daughter took over the job that her mom did, carried on the tradition. You walk the gauntlet through the airport, and everyone's shaking your hand and thanking you for their service. And it's a very happy, patriotic feeling to be there. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, and then we can turn the lights back on. And I will tell a few more things, and my wife wants to tell a few words too. You're welcome to take any supplies up here. There's applications for a guardian, for a veteran, or in the new high-tech world we live in, you can do it online. So this was the only gathering of Purple Arts in the United States ever, and we did it out of Fort Wayne. We normally have 85 to 87 veterans on the flight. This is the picture that we take of World War II. And then I'll let Miss Mary tell about your papa.
Yeah. Also, on our flights, we have a doctor too,
Oh, yeah.
on every flight. We have a lot of medical people on the flight, so if we have people that are worried about their health or whatever, we will take care of them.
And a nurse and a pharmacist.
We also do virtual honor flights, my husband and I. We go to wherever there's a veteran that can't go for illness or for some unreason. We go to them and present everything we present to our veterans on the flight, we present to them. And we have these oculars where they can see all the memorials like they were there. So we do that, and we've gone as far as Terre Haute, Indiana, and we do nursing homes, we do individuals, we do, for like this, we do presentations,
At farms.
as, yes, we did.
Didn't you guys just do something over in Van Wert too?
Yes, Van Wert, we did the DAR group there, and the Van Wert, nice Ohio town. My wife's got relatives in Ohio too.
In Portland, Indiana, I have cousins in Portland, on my dad's side. On my mother's side, they're all in Texas. I was born in San Antonio. So, my dad was in the Army. He was in the Army Air Corps in World War II. And, here. This is my dad. He's my hero. He's always been my hero. Good dad. And where he was stationed overseas, but when he came back home, he was stationed in Randolph Field in San Antonio. He was a cook there. And so, it was a Thanksgiving Day, probably in the 1940s, 45, 46, something like that. They told him a VIP was flying in, so he said, okay, so he fixed that Thanksgiving dinner, and that VIP was Clark Gable. So my dad cooked for Clark Gable. It was in the paper. It was really a big deal in Texas when Clark Gable flew into Randolph Field. So he never told me the story. It was my mom's brother, my Uncle Frank, that told me the story. Dad never talked about the war. My dad became an alcoholic from the war. So that was hard to deal with a lot of times, but he was still a good dad. I mean, he always made sure we had everything we needed and so on and so forth. And he worked and did everything, but just the drinking got to him. And I'm sure it was because of the war and all the things that he had seen and done. We don't know what these veterans go through. We have no idea. They don't talk about it. You know, I have laughed with them. I cried with them. I've had 4 veterans that I've been guardian for, and one of the veterans that I had, he hardly said anything. I had a hard time trying to break through to him. But by afternoon, at one of the memorials, he was laughing and talking, and you could see there was some healing going on with that. And that, I said to him, I said, Jack, I said, you've got the most beautiful smile. He never smiled. And I said, you've made my day. I said, and I said, I certainly hope I've made yours. And he said, you certainly have. And he thanked me for that. But yes, and then I had one 90-year-old veteran that I was a guardian for. And he was just the cutest little thing, and became cankerous, but we got along really well, and he did talk about the war and told me a lot of things. So I really enjoyed being a guardian too when I was assigned to it. So let's see if there's anything else I have to say. I think that's probably
You make
covers
pillows
it.
too.
Oh,
Oh, I do that. The pillow you see on the table there, I'll tell you how I got started on that. I'm not a seamstress, but I do like to sew. So after 9/11, we bought all this material, of patriotic material, and just tons of it. And I thought, okay, so now what are we gonna do with all this material? I started out making flags for our car club to put on their antennas. And so then we went to a welcome home, and I thought, oh my gosh, now I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a pillow for each and every one of these veterans. So I have, my husband helps me. I have made over 5,000, lost count after that. We also make, from extra material that we have from the patriotic material we do for elementary schools. And we probably made about 1,000 of those, and we give to the schools to keep our kids patriotic and love our country. That can get stolen from them.
We did bring those to
This day and age.
Hicksville Elementary School a number of years ago too.
Yes, we go all around and do that. So,
Another quick thing, because I know you guys leave around 1, we have surprises for them all day long. And that's why the tears and the heartfelt thank you that we give to them. But we have mail call for them, and mail calls from churches, schools, families, and letters of appreciation thanking them for their service. We do that when we're on the plane coming back from DC at 35,000 feet, 600 miles an hour. It's mail call, and we line the aisles with our volunteers, and Sam Smith, back here, Joe Jones, over here. And they get their envelope, and they don't know it's coming. They open the envelope and they start reading the letters, and the tears start flowing. And again, there's so many surprises that we have for them throughout the day, and that's one of the ways. So if you're ever asked to write a thank you letter for a veteran, whether you know the veteran or not, it'll end up in one of those envelopes.
and we encourage it.
And it
We
touches-
encourage everybody
touches
to
the heart.
write letters, if you can, for a veteran. Just,
Some-
they really do appreciate it, and it's important to them.
Where do we send letters when we write them? Where would you send them?
Oh,
Call us or the
Yeah.
PO Box 5, Huntertown,
Okay.
Yeah.
or call and someone will come and pick them up.
yeah, yeah.
Any-
We'll get them no matter what.
Any questions, so we don't go over here too long? Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, yes,
We
what an
love-
honor.
We love our veterans. and
Yeah.
Thank you again for letting